Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you all for being here again. It is a new day in America. Yesterday morning, we began on the steps of the House as everyone was flying in to begin work again as we complete the 118th Congress. And we celebrated what is a new beginning, really, a new morning in America, a new day in America. And so today we began this morning, as Steve Scalise just told you, our majority leader, that we began with President Trump. And he came to visit us. It was a bit of a pep rally. Everybody feels very confident, very encouraged about the days ahead. And he gave us a very inspirational message. And he talked about the importance of maintaining unity and standing with this leadership team to go forward. It was very well received, and that set the tone for our day. And we had a very productive day together as a Republican conference. And the theme that you'll hear over and over from all of our members across the conference is that we are unified and energized and ready to go. We have to deliver for the American people beginning on day one in the new Congress, and we will be ready for that. I want to congratulate these new leaders that have been duly elected to help serve the conference. This is an extraordinary leadership team, and those who've been reelected who have earned those positions well. This was a group and a body today that worked together and did some really extraordinary things, putting together a leadership team and deciding upon our conference rules. I want to again tip my hat to the chairs of two of our most important and active caucuses within the Republican Conference, the House Freedom Caucus, Dr. Andy Harris, Congressman Harris, and Congressman Dusty Johnson of the Main Street Caucus, who worked together with a subgroup of members to work through a very deliberate process to come up with the rules. So we come out of this excited to deliver the America First agenda for the American people. Like the majority leader said, we traveled all around the country. All of us did. We all campaigned for our colleagues throughout the year. And we felt the energy on the ground, as Steve said, and we took the temperature of the American people. We heard their concerns. We heard that no matter where you are in the country, north, south, east, west, the number one concerns were the cost of living, the wide open border, the instability on the world stage, the weakness that has gotten us into the most dangerous situation since World War II. They were worried about instability and insecurity, the radical, progressive, woke agenda. People have had enough of all that. And so we're going to deliver solutions to all those great challenges facing the country, and we're excited to do it. I know you're all tired of hearing my football metaphors, but we have a very well-designed playbook. We will begin to execute those plays with precision on day one. And so our new and incoming members, we're here for new member orientation, they were a part of all of this today, and we're preparing the players now to take that field beginning early in January when all this all begins again on January 3rd. So we will wrap up the work at the 118th, we will get that work done, and we'll move into the new Congress with excitement and delivering on the promises that we have made to the American people. We're grateful to be working in hand with President Trump and to take this energy into the new year. So we'll take a few questions. I know you have several. Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. While you were inside in your meeting, President Trump announced that he would nominate your colleague Matt Gaetz to be the next Attorney General of the United States. What do you make of that nomination, and how do you feel about his impending departure from the House?
Well, I talked with Matt immediately after that nomination was made. In fact, President Trump told me this morning when he walked in, we were behind the curtains. He tipped me off that would be happening. Matt and I were classmates. We came to Congress at the same time in the 115th Congress in January 2017, and alphabetically we're seated right next to one another in Judiciary Committee. We served there together for 7 years. Some of y'all who cover Judiciary know those are long meetings, so I got to know Matt very well. Look, I'll say this. Everyone who served with him will tell you he's one of the most intelligent members of Congress. He's an accomplished attorney. He's very concerned about the lawfare that has been occurring in the Department of Justice under the Biden administration, and the fact that the American people have lost their faith in our institutions of justice because of everything that they've seen. He's a reformer in his mind and heart, and I think that he'll bring a lot to the table on that. I think out of deference to us, he issued his resignation letter effective immediately of Congress. That caught us by surprise a little bit, but I asked him what the reasoning was, and he said, well, you can't have too many absences. So under Florida state law, there's about an 8-week period to select and fill a vacant seat. And so by doing so today, that allows me, I've already placed a call to Governor DeSantis in Florida and said, let's start the clock. He's in Italy at the moment, and so we're going to talk first thing in the morning about this. And if we start the clock now, if you do the math, we may be able to fill that seat as early as January 3rd when we take the new oath of office for the new Congress. So Matt would have done us a great service by making that decision as he did on the fly. And so we're grateful for that. So we move forward. Look, I'll say this about, people have asked me all day long, President Trump is poaching all of your talent. Yes, we have an embarrassment of riches here. The Republican conference is full of talented people who are extraordinary leaders and have great expertise, and everyone in this Congress, in this conference, could serve in a leadership position in the administration. But I have begged and pleaded with the new president, enough already. Okay, but because our numbers are small, we are going to have the majority. We're celebrating that. I think it could be as high as a 5-seat margin, but we'll have some of these vacancies open as we begin the year. We'll fill them as quickly as possible, but we're excited for our colleagues to have these new career opportunities and new opportunities to serve the country. So we move forward. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You now have this big mandate, a trifecta. How you are going to assure American people that you're going to use this power responsibly and not misuse it?
Yeah. I'm glad you said, the question was about the mandate that the American people have delivered us. It was an historic election. President Trump won the popular vote and the Electoral College by a very wide, decisive margin, and the House Republicans received as many votes. I think it's been many decades since House Republicans received as many collective votes over Democrats nationwide. So we do have the mandate. We take the responsibility seriously. You can make an argument that we're facing collectively as a nation the greatest collection of challenges that we've had probably since World War II, maybe the Civil War, some people say. So serious times call for serious leadership. It's going to be a policy agenda-driven administration and a Congress, and you've heard us say many times that it could be, I believe it will be, the most consequential Congress in the modern era, most consequential administration in the modern era, because frankly, we have to fix almost every area of public policy. So what it will be required of us is to plan deliberately and execute with precision, and that's what we're working on right now. We're going to deliver it for the American people. We're going to bring down the cost of living. We are going to turn American energy dominance back on. We are going to secure the border. We're going to take care of our stature on the world stage to restore peace through strength again. And all of the things that are concerning people, from woke ideologies in the schools and the business place to all the other chaos that we've ensued with the rising crime rates and everything around the country, we have solutions for all that. And we had a demographic shift in this election. We had large groups of voters in different demographics that came into the Republican Party who had never been there traditionally in large numbers before. Our opportunity now is to embrace all those new folks who have come in and demonstrate for them that it is our policies that lead to human flourishing. These are the best policies for their individual benefit, their liberty, opportunity, and security, for their families, their communities, states, and our nation as a whole. So we are excited about that. We're excited to begin delivering, and you'll see a lot of action early in the Congress. Yes, ma'am.
Since you just broke the news that he resigned immediately, that means that the House Ethics Committee investigation to him does not have jurisdiction since he's no longer a member of Congress. Are you concerned about what, they were finishing up their work, there was going to be a report issued? Is that a concern to you that will now never see the light of day?
Well, it is true that former member of Congress, the House Ethics Committee would have no further jurisdiction over that person, no further authority over them. So that would not be unprecedented. But as far as the timing of a release or report or something, I don't know. The Speaker of the House is not involved in that, can't be involved in that. So I'm not really the person probably to answer that question. So, yes, ma'am.
Is President-elect Trump considering the slim House majority when making these decisions about his cabinet? Is he listening to your concerns about that? And do you feel comfortable allowing the majority to go slimmer?
No, I'm not comfortable with that. No, look, President Trump and I have talked many times a day, every day, and with his transition team. I've spent a lot of time with Howard Lutnick, who is the co-chair of the transition team, with Linda McMahon and everyone involved. He is at Mar-a-Lago making lots of very consequential decisions, and I'm trying to be involved as many as I can while I'm also trying to manage this Congress and plan for the next. I'm going to make a trip down there tomorrow evening for a gala for the America First Policy Institute, spend some time with them there, and then I've changed my plans to go down to Mar-a-Lago for the weekend so that I can be there while more of these decisions are being made. He's very aware of the margin, the size of the margin, but he has an administration to fill, a cabinet to fill, and he's keeping all this in mind at the same time. So we're both We're both very aware of the margins and the size. Everyone in this room is keenly aware of it as well. And that's why we're emphasizing unity right now. And I'm very hopeful about that. I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time. And I think we'll get these seats filled by, these are reliable Republican seats. We'll have very strong candidates presented who will win those elections in short order. And by early spring, we'll have these seats filled and we'll keep moving forward. So,
This
yes,
needs to
ma'am.
be the last question, guys.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, you just mentioned that Congressman Gaetz is resigning early. That will allow Florida to have a special election sooner. Congressman Waltz is also from Florida. Have you talked to him about doing something similar? Because that would apply to his seat as well.
Yeah, he's got to make his own determination on that. But if of course, for the position that Congressman Waltz has been chosen for, he doesn't need Senate confirmation. So I assume that he'll be making that decision. I'll talk with him, of course, tonight and tomorrow about that to figure out the best timing. He's a team player as well, and he wants to do what's right for the conference and for the country. And I'm confident he will. He's going to do an extraordinary job in his position, as is Elise Stefanik, and I'm sure Matt Gaetz. I believe they'll all do very well. Now, there are others here who President Trump has interest in serving in other positions, and I said, please, sir, no. We have a great talent here. We're excited to work for that. Excited for this leadership team. This is a great group of people who are here to serve the country, and they're going to perform well for their constituents and for America. We're going to turn this country around, and we can't wait. Thank you so much for being here today. Bless you.